Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. We'll just get started in a minute. Namaste to all. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejas Vinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu. Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Welcome all to our first class today, September 6th, 2024. We begin the learning journey of Valmiki Ramayana's Sundarakandam. This is going to be an interesting journey, definitely given the number of shlokas that comprise Sundarakandam. It is going to be a long journey. May Guru bless us all to be happy, healthy, and to have the Sankalpa to complete what we start today. I'm sure we'll all face some challenges here and there, just like Hanuman faced while he was trying to look for Sita. So may we all have the Viveka, may we all have the patience, may we all have Guru's Anugraham to accept those hindrances, navigate through those hindrances, yet complete what we start today with Guru's Paripurna Anugraham. Today is going to be an introduction class, just introduction about Ramayana, introduction about the scriptures that form the basis for Sanatana Dharma, introduction to Hanuman himself, the hero of our, the main character of our learning, and of course, how our class will be structured and what is expected for all of us to enjoy the journey, for all of us to learn, for all of us to complete what we start today. I had mentioned in the message that I had posted earlier today, Zoom has a restriction of 100 participants. So the first 100 would join here and the rest of the members can listen to the live class. The recording also will be posted in a playlist, which will be shared later. You can join through YouTube. I also have a window open here so that I can monitor the live chat and take questions from there as well. Many of us have been part of the shloka learning journey that we started undertaking from 2018. Just a small quick introduction about me. My name is Vanishri Raghupati. I live in Chennai. I work in IT. I have great love for Sanatana Dharma. I feel that the roots, the tradition and culture is what defines a person, and proud to be a Sanatana Dharmi. Starting from 2018, I've been teaching shlokas online to WhatsApp and Telegram and through live classes as well during the COVID, primarily during the COVID lockdown. Covered about 64 to 65, I think, different shlokas with meaning, which a lot of us have enjoyed when we are chanting the shloka. The beauty is understanding the meaning so that we can internalize, we can visualize. Some of the main shlokas that we have learned has been Lalita Sahasranamam. A lot of us joined this satsang for the Lalita Sahasranamam learning. And then came Bhagavad Gita into our life, which was a 3-year journey by itself, but it has been completely transformational for a lot of us. What we are today and what we were 3 years ago, I think personally, a lot of us would know the changes that have gone through in our minds, in our thinking, in acceptance of life, attitude towards life. Bhagavad Gita has been completely transformational for a lot of us. Bhagavad Gita, learning the recordings, the individual shlokas, chapter-wise shlokas are also available on YouTube channel. So if anybody wants to pick it up and learn, please do so. Trust me, I think it is a journey that each of us should undergo. And only when you undergo, you will know the beauty of that grantha and what kind of impact it has in one's life. So we completed Bhagavad Gita, and then we were waiting for some sign from the universe, from Guru, to know what do we learn next. And then came the Sri Rama Prana Pratishtha this year in the month of January. And just the day before the Prana Pratishtha, I got a generic message from my Guru, from whom I had the opportunity to learn a couple of Vedantic granthas, a lot of life learnings from him. And I'm very grateful to him for showing me the path and guiding me at the right time when I was going through a personal challenge in my life. So through his message came the sign that our next learning is going to be Sundarakandam. And prior to Sundarakandam, earlier this year, we also learned Sankshepa Ramayana, a beautiful part of Ramayana. In fact, the beginning of Ramayana, where there are 100 shlokas, which concisely describe the story of Ramayana. So we did that learning. And now comes the Sundarakandam learning that we will begin today. So that is a small introduction about me. I have 3 children. They mean world to me. And my probably my goal in life is to continue teaching shlokas and Sanskritam, which also I teach online. And hopefully that makes difference to all of us, including me. So when you teach, there is an evolution that happens, there is a change that happens, there is a learning that happens. And hopefully that learning that we all undertake will have a positive impact in our life and make our lives better than what we are living today. So that is the prime goal. My prime goal in life is to live better than what we are living today and make difference to other people's lives and make their lives more beautiful than what it is today. So my prayer has always been for myself and for my children is health, because without health, we can't do anything. So my primary goal or prayer has always been health, followed by satsanga. So the kind of people we associate ourselves with makes a huge impact in our lives. When we rewind back, we would know the ups and downs in our life is a direct impact of the people that we associated ourselves with. So I think Guru has blessed us with this beautiful group today. There are about more than 250 who are attending online now, and many who will be listening to the recordings, many who will learn in future. So the entire satsangam is a blessed one. It is a blessing that we are all connected. all these beautiful flowers, make a beautiful garland. And it is that blessing which will have a positive impact in our life. Sundarakandam by itself, we all know, even the Jeshta, the elders in our life always keep saying that whenever you go through tough times in life, read Sundarakandam. Even if you don't learn it as a shloka, you have these small books, you have these detailed books, and you do the Parayanam, and the Parayanam will help you get through. It will give you the strength to cross whatever hurdle that you're facing in life. So that is how this journey, the seed for this journey was planted, and I wanted to share that with everybody who is present today. So the sign came and we decided, okay, we will start with Sankshepa Ramayanam, which we completed, and we are beginning Sundarakandam learning today. So with utmost gratitude, utmost sincere prayers to Bhagavan and Guru, let's start the journey. Before we go into Sundarakandam itself, a lot of us are aware of the scriptures that form the roots or the basic foundation of Sanatana Dharma. But we'll just quickly walk through it, and so that we know where Ramayana fits in and where Sundarakandam fits in within Ramayana. So if we look at the basic scriptures, we have the Shruti and we have the Smriti. Shruti that was heard and Shruti that was derived from the Shruti or was written or composed or created. So the Shruti primarily consists of the Vedas and the Upanishads, while the Smriti consists of the Puranas and the Itihas. We all know primarily we have 4 Vedas. We have the Dasha Upanishads, we have the 18 Puranas, and our 2 favorite Itihasas, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. So when we look at Ramayanam is the Pramana Grantham. It is the Adi Grantham, Adi Kavyam, composed by sage Valmiki. And we have Mahabharata, which is the Panchama Vedaha. It is considered to be the 5th Veda itself, composed by Maharishi Vedavyasaha, Mahavishnu Swarupaha. And as he narrated Mahabharata, we all know that Ganesha, for whom we'll be celebrating his birthday tomorrow, wrote or became the scribe for Mahabharata. So Ramayanam is the Adi Kavyam composed by Adi Kavihi Valmiki Maharishihi. So what are some of the key features or key incidents from Ramayana? We all know Ramayana has so many beautiful, so Ramasya Ayanam, so the path that was tread by Rama is what is called Ramayanam. And it shows to ordinary mortals like us that whatever the challenge might be in life, we all need to stick to Dharma. Rama showed us as a king, how would you rule a country? As a brother, how would you be? There are different characters in Ramayana that bring out various key features, key characteristics, key gunas that we all need to learn from. When we think of bhakti, there is nobody greater than Hanuman. When we think of Bhratru Sneha, so the brotherly affection, the bonding between the brothers, Bharata, who said, you know what, Rama went to Kananam, he went to forest, but you know what, I'm not going to enjoy the pleasures of the palace and the kingdom given to me. I'm going to live the same life as Rama in Ayodhya. Living as an ascetic in forest is one thing, living as an ascetic in a kingdom in the midst of all the riches and everything and the great position that was given to Bharata, it's a completely different thing. So similarly, Ramayana talks about, so Sita's Pativratam, right? Whatever it might be, she not a minute, not a second, she took her mind away from Rama. So Ramayanam has these aspects that we all need to learn from, we all need to try and imbibe. And that is the sole reason why Valmiki created or composed Ramayana. Rama's Charitam was given to us so that we all learn from that and the lessons learned, the key characteristics, and see how these can be implemented in our life. Some of the key, like I mentioned, key features of Ramayana. It talks about Rama's journey, Ramasya Ayanam, composed by sage Valmiki. We all know it is divided into 7 cantos, comprises of 24,000 shlokas. And every 1,000th shloka, if we take, it forms the first aksharam of every 1,000th shloka, forms the Gayatri mantra. So that is the beauty of the composition of this great Adi Kavyam. The 7 cantos are split into 500 sargas. So if you think about it, kind of like chapters. So each sarga has different number of shlokas, and each canto has different number of sargas. So we are going to be focusing on Sundarakandam and the shlokas that pertain to that kandam alone. So the high level, we all know what the cantos are. So Balakandam, Ayodhya Kandam, Aranya Kandam, Kishkinda Kandam, Sundara Kandam, and Yuddha Kandam. Of course, we have Uttara Kandam as well. Now, if we look at the naming of the cantos themselves, what we are going to undertake is Sundara Kandam. So we all know Sundaram means beauty, that which depicts beauty, that which is beautiful by itself, that which makes us beautiful. So Sundarakandam can have many different meanings. So the word Sundaram itself, it can be something which is beautiful by itself, something which reflects beauty, something which gives us beauty when we read it. So does that mean the other kandas which are there as part of Ramayanam is not beautiful? Is Sundarakandam the only canto which is actually beautiful in Ramayana? So if we look at the naming that has been given to these cantos, we all know. If we look at Balakandam, Balakandam means Bala is young or child. So it mostly refers to the childhood of Rama when he was a child, how he was born, how he lived his life as a boy. He gets taken by Vishwamitra, sage Vishwamitra, to kill the hindrances that were bothering the yajnas. And then comes the marriage between Rama and Sita. So Balakandam. So the childhood part of Rama's life is described in Balakandam. Hence the name Balakandam. If you look at Ayodhya Kandam, so after the marriage happens between Sita and Rama. So in Balakandam, obviously, child by itself is beautiful. So I think a lot of us would know that our life has various emotions, and the constant emotion that is there is with a child. Wherever you see a child, in whichever form, the child or a beauty of a child or the smile of a child gives us a lot of joy. So by itself, it is beautiful. Then comes Ayodhya Kandam. When Rama gets married to Sita and they come back to Ayodhya, they lived very happily there for many, many years. And then came the incident where Dasharatha wanted to crown Rama as the king. And we know the story where Kaikeyi asks for 2 boons and then he gets sent out. So the major portion of Ayodhya Kandam is still very beautiful. There are these moments where Rama gets sent out to the forest. Lakshmana says he will follow. Sita says she will also follow. The whole Ayodhya gets into sadness, and Rama leaves Ayodhya at an appropriate moment at night. But then comes the meeting with Guha, which is so beautiful. When Bharata comes to say, I don't want the kingdom. What kind of person will say that if anything is given to us, we are so happy to take it, whether we are eligible for it or not? Bharata comes all the way to see Rama and he says, I don't want the kingdom, please come back and rule it. And then when Rama says no, he says, okay, at least give me some chinham, right? Some kind of symbol that can represent you. And Rama gives his paduka, his lotus feet, the sandals that carried his lotus feet. So that is so beautiful. When you read about Bharata in this Kandam, it gets us so emotional. So there is beauty here as well. And then comes Aranya Kandam. Aranyam is forest. So because major portion was in Ayodhya, it was named as Ayodhya Kandam. Then comes Aranya Kandam. Aranyam is forest. Now here, Rama, Sita and Lakshmana spent beautiful years in various parts, primarily in Panchavati. So their life is so beautiful. They bond with each other, and Lakshmana is doing service all the time. So Dasya Bhakti is Lakshmana. There is no greater servant who is ready to serve Rama and Sita. So it is so beautiful to look at their relationship, the relationship between Rama and Sita, the relationship between Rama and Lakshmana as brothers, and the kind of respect, the motherly feeling that Lakshmana experienced with Sita. Because he was told by his mother, when the moment you leave Ayodhya, Rama is like Dasharatha and Sita is your mother. So that is so beautiful to look at. But then since most of it happened in the forest, it is aptly named as Aranya Kandam. And then comes the Shabari, the old lady who waits patiently for Rama's arrival. And just fruits, and Rama gives moksham to Shabari. Who will not be touched by that? God doesn't patram pushpam phalam toyam. Whatever we give, if we give with bhakti, Bhagavan accepts it with so much of love, and in turn he blesses us with what we want, and he knows what is best for us. So that happens. Of course, there is that incident which causes a lot of pain, is where Sita is forcefully abducted by Ravana and gets taken away. And when Jatayu tries to save Sita, Jatayu gets killed. So, but then Rama does the samskaram to Jatayu as though he would do to his own father. So there, bhakti stands out, love stands out. And what is not beautiful about it? But then since most of it happened in Aranyam, it is aptly named as Aranyakandam. Then Rama continues the search. And when he continues the search, he meets Sugriva and, of course, our hero Hanuman. So Hanuman goes out and he sees Rama for the very first time. And when he sees, I think I have the picture wrong here. I apologize for that. I should have had a different set of photos here. So where Sugriva meets Rama, Hanuman sees Rama for the very first time, and the bhakti from within just oozes out when he meets Rama. Sugriva and Vali's fight happens, and then Vali gets killed, and there comes the part when they all decide that they will go and look for Sita. Now, since this happens primarily in Kishkinda, it is called Kishkinda Kandam. Now, we are just going to skip one Kandam and move to Yuddha Kandam. So, it is named as Yuddha Kandam. Yuddham is war or battle. So, where Rama, with the help of Vanaras, crosses the sea, comes over, fights with Ravana and gets Sita back. Of course, we have the Pattabhishekam at the end. We have Uttarakandam, where the pregnant Sita is taken care by Valmiki Maharishi, like an elder brother, gives birth to Lava and Kusha. And the whole Ramayana is narrated by Valmiki to Lava and Kusha. And they sing Rama's glory in different kingdoms, not knowing that the person about whom they are singing is their own father. Now, all these kandams have been named appropriately. Balakandam, the childhood. Ayodhya Kandam is what happened primarily in Ayodhya. Aranyakandam is forest. Then we have Kishkinda Kandam, where majority of the incidents are in Kishkinda. We have Yuddha Kandam, which is the battle between Rama and Ravana, the evil and the good. Now comes Sundarakandam. So the Uttarakandam, which I just mentioned, and we have Sundarakandam, where Valmiki has named this particular Kandam as Sundarakandam. So everything is so beautiful about it. There is also another reason why it is named Sundarakandam. So the main character of Sundarakandam is Anjaneya, Hanuman. So when Hanuman's mother, Punchikasthala, she gave birth to Hanuman, she in fact named Hanuman as Sundara. Now, because she was born to Anjana, so Punchikasthala was born as Anjana Devi. Punchikasthala is the Apsaras who got cursed. We will see about Hanuman's Charitam briefly a little later. So Punchikasthala, the Apsaras, was born as Anjana, and Mother Anjana named Hanuman at birth as Sundara. For every mother, their child, right? Her child is the most beautiful on earth. And because he was born to Anjana, he also carried the name Anjaneya. So Anjaneya or Sundara. So this was Hanuman's original name. Sri Dushyant Sridhar, in his Upanyasam, he would say if Hanuman had to enroll in school, his name would have been Sundara Sundar K, because his father's name is Kesari, and so it would have been Sundar K. So Hanuman's birth name would have been Sundar K. So Valmiki has aptly named the Kandam as Sundarakandam, because Hanuman is the primary character, the primary patram of this Kandam, and he has so much to convey to us. Through all that happened in Sundarakandam, there are so many things that we can learn from this Kandam. So he is the primary person who performs various actions in this Kandam and sends messages to bhaktas like us. So hence the name Sundarakandam. Now, there is also a Vedantic interpretation of this particular Kandam. So whenever lot of the stories, even the Puranic stories that we come across, they all have a subtle meaning underneath. Of course, it has to be passed from generation to generation. At some point, that got stopped. So today, when we know about Krishna stealing butter, or Krishna's Vastrabharanam, or Kali Nardhanam that he did, all these carry an inner meaning to it. It is not just a plain story that is being conveyed. There is something subtle, a subtle message that that is somewhat Vedantic is in nature. I'm saying it is Vedantic in nature because Vedanta is what helps us live. Story is a story. A Puranic story is a story. A katha is a katha. But when we understand the subtle underlying message underneath, that is when the story has an impact in our life. So even when we read Panchatantra stories, right, at the end of the story, there would be a moral that is conveyed. Moral is, don't steal. Moral is, don't lie. Moral is, always help others. So there will be something that is conveyed as a message as part of the story. So these stories, even the Puranic stories that we come across, they all have a subtle interpretation, a message that they convey. And in terms of that understanding, when it comes to Sundarakandam, there is a Vedantic aspect to it. I say Vedanta because it is very subtle and you need to understand it at some level, right? But now, when we look at Sundarakandam, so what happens? So Rama is there in Bharata Desham. he is still in Bharatadesham trying to look for Sita, and he's lost Sita. He's sad. His only goal in life is to somehow get Sita back. So Rama, who is an avatara of Mahavishnu, he is the Paramatma who is there in the Bharata Bhumi. And now Sita is held captive in Lanka. So Lanka is a beautiful place. When we all look at our shariram, right? We all take this birth. When we take birth, we all come with the Atma. We all have shariram. We all have avayavas. We all have indriyas that help us function. So Sita in Lanka is like the Jivatma who is there. So the Paramatma is in Bharatadesham and the Jivatma is there in Lanka. A beautiful city, a place even today I've heard Lanka is one of the most beautiful places. There are parts of Lanka which are so scenic and so beautiful. So imagine during that yuga, in Treta Yuga, how beautiful it would have been. So Sita is the Jivatma. However, when we look at our body itself, we all want only one thing in life. Like there is a statement that goes, the goal of every goal is happiness, right? You want to experience happiness. Oh, I want to become a singer. Why do you want to become a singer? Because singing gives you happiness and you want to be known to be a singer. I want to become an artist. So when you paint, when you draw, it gives you happiness. The goal of every goal is happiness. So we all want to experience happiness in life. And here, the happiness is not the temporary fleeting happiness that we all chase, right? It is the Chidananda, the internal happiness, the Daiviga happiness, the true happiness that we all need to be experiencing. Now, for that, we all have hindrances within our sharira. We all have the panchendriyas, pancha karmendriyas and pancha jnanendriyas. So we have the sense organs and the action organs. So 5 of these and 5 of those. The eyes, the nose, the tongue, the skin. So we want to keep chanting Bhagavan's nama, right? Our mouth needs to cooperate there. That indriya needs to cooperate there. We all want to go and visit temple. Our indriya, the leg along with the mind needs to cooperate there. So these indriyas are constant hindrances. When we want to go to a temple, instead we choose to temple, have darshan of Bhagavan, we choose to see something else, do something else, say something else, right? So the journey that we want to undertake, the bliss that we want to experience, these are the hindrances that constantly test us. I wouldn't say stop us, because we can use our free will to deal with these hindrances and channel them the right way. So those dashendriyas are represented by Ravana. So the 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriyas, which constantly stop us from realizing Bhagavan, realizing that bliss. Now, if you think of it in Dvaita or Vishishta Dvaita, you can call it Jivatma Paramatma. In terms of Advaita, you can think of it as self-realization, Aham Brahmasmi. So, whichever way you look at it, it is the indriyas that stop us, along with the manas, right? Which stops us from experiencing Bhagavan, experiencing that kind of happiness. So, lot of times we are not even aware that these indriyas are actually hindrances in our life. We don't have proper guidance. We don't have the awareness. And when we get that awareness, we don't know how to deal with it. How do we tackle it? How do we channel the energy the right way? How do we get rid of unwanted thoughts, words, and actions? So that is when a guru plays an important role in everybody's life. And I'm sure everybody who is attending now, everybody who will be listening, you will be nodding your head in agreement when I say it is Guru who actually shows us the right path in our life, right? It could be a Guru with whom you could have live interaction, or it could be a Manasika Guru who is guiding you. You will have signs. When you're confused, the Guru will send you signs to deal with the situation, to make the right decision, to guide you to cross the hurdle. So, and that Guru is represented by Hanuman in Sundarakandam. So you have the Paramatma who is there in Sri Vaikuntham, Bharata Desham. You have the Jivatma in the body along in the Bhuloka, within the body, and you have the Indriyas, the Dashendriyas that are constantly preventing us from reaching Paramatma or realizing Bhagavan or realizing self. And that is when a Guru plays an important role. Guru conveys the message from Paramatma to Jivatma, saying that, you know what, I am there for you. When I am there, why do you worry? And when the Bhakta, who has complete Shraddha in Guru and Bhagavan, conveys that message to that Guru, the Guru is the person who will also convey that back to Bhagavan. So he is the messenger between Paramatma and Jivatma, which is a two-way street. Hanuman conveyed the message from Rama to Sita, and he conveyed the message from Sita back to Rama. So which is where Sundarakandam has this beautiful message which is being conveyed. We all have one thing in life that we want to experience. We want to reach Paramatma. You might want moksha, or in this loka, you want to experience happiness. You want to have nishkamya bhakti. And the person who will guide us in every step is that Guru. So that is the underlying message that Sundarakandam conveys. And as we learn, we will see aspects, we will see specific points where Hanuman conveys different things to us, which are all, lessons that we need to learn. So while we undertake this journey of Sundarakandam learning, my humble request is for us to remember the crux of Sundarakandam, which is Paramatma and Jivatma, and Guru being the guiding light for all of us. Now, Sundarakandam, we all saw why it has been named Sundarakandam. So Hanuman's birth name was Sundara, as named by Anjana Devi, hence the name Sundarakandam. But then if we look at Ramayana as a whole, Tilaka, who is a very famous commentator of Ramayana, describes Ramayana, and he describes Sundarakandam as well. So I have one shloka by him that describes Ramayana. So if you look at the text, Sundare Sundaro Ramaha, Sundare Sundari Katha, Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Sundaram Vanam, Sundare Sundaram Kavyam, Sundare Sundaraha Kapihi, Sundare Sundaram Mantram, Sundare Kimna Sundaram. Everything in Ramayanam is beautiful. Rama, who is an avatara of Mahavishnu himself, is beautiful. How many times we would have heard Ramayana? How many upanyasams we would have heard? How many stories or anecdotes from Ramayanam we would have heard from so many people, so many times. Yet, every time we actually listen to Ramayana, it is so beautiful to hear. That Katha is so beautiful. Even today, in whatever form you read Ramayana, it could be a book in English by by Rajaji. It could be Bala Ramayanam by Chinmaya group, which makes it very simple for kids to understand, or even layman to understand. So, or it could be text, or it could be an upanyasam, or it could be a harikatha where music it is interspersed with the story. In whatever form we listen to Ramayanam, it is so beautiful because the katha is so beautiful. Sita, who is Mahalakshmi herself, Mahalakshmi Swarupam, how can she not be beautiful? There's one moment in Sundarakandam which is very close to my heart, and I think we will dwell upon what Hanuman felt when he looked at Sita for the very first time in Ashokavana. So Sita is so beautiful. The Ashokavanam, a shokam, a place where you experience nothing but happiness. Unfortunately, Sita Mata experienced only dukkham there. That is why it is called Ashokam. Ashokavana is so beautiful. The whole Kavyam itself, Ramayanam itself, Adi Kavyam, Pramana Grantham, it is so beautiful. One of the main characters, Kapihi. Kapihi means Vanaraha, a Vanara, Hanuman, who is not attracted by Hanuman's bhakti. How can somebody have so much of pure devotion towards Bhagavan? So beautiful. When we chant Ramayanam, we experienced absolute bliss when we learned Sankshepa Ramayanam. It was so nice. I think a lot of Sankshepa Ramayanam learners are there in the group now. They would vouch for it. It was the energy levels were something that we had never experienced in any of the other learnings that were undertaken. The power of that mantra, power of the composition. So everything in Ramayanam is so beautiful. Rama is beautiful. Katha is beautiful. The story is beautiful. Sita is beautiful. The Vanam where she is housed is so beautiful. The entire Kavyam is beautiful. Hanuman, the Kapihi, is so beautiful. Chanting of Ramayana is so blissful. So everything is beautiful in Ramayana. And specifically, when Tilaka talks about Sundarakandam, he says, Sundare Sundari Lanka, Sundare Sundari Katha, Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Kimna Sundaram, Sundare Sundarim Sitam Akshatam Marute Mukhat, Shrutva Krishtaha, Tathaivastu Saramas Satatam Hridi. He talks about Sundarakandam. He says, Lanka. What a beautiful city. The description by Valmiki itself, it is as though Swarga is there right in Bhuloka. So it is such a beautiful, beautiful city. So that is beautiful. The Katha itself, even though two people are separated in Sundarakandam. So how can, is this something which is sadistic in nature where Valmiki or when Tilaka describes two people are separated, how can that be beautiful? It should be painful, right? But however, the mutual love that they have for each other, when they are together, it is probably not brought out that much. It is probably not realized that much. There is a saying in Tamil, right, where Piriyum bodhudan the anbu jasti ahum. You realize the love when two people are separated. So when you're together, we take things for granted. So Rama probably realized how much he wanted Sita in his life. And Sita, even though Rama is the king for one kingdom, while Ravana has an entire country under him. He is a Shiva Bhakta too. Ravana would have given everything to Sita. But Sita realized, you know what? All these don't matter to me. We knew it didn't matter to Sita, because if it mattered, she wouldn't have come with Rama. She would have said, you know what? I was born a princess. I would rather live a queen at Ayodhya than be with you in the forest. So we knew it was not important to Sita, but to Sita herself, I think it made her realize how much she respected and loved Rama. And Sita is beautiful. And when Hanuman conveyed to Rama, Drishtva Sita, Kanden Sita, I saw Sita, right? Having seen that, Rama became so happy. That is all he wanted to know. Once he knew that Sita is there in Lanka and she is still thinking of him, which he knew, somehow he will bring her back. And that Rama, Saharamaha Satatam Hridi. So he was so happy inside hearing from Hanuman that Sita is also still thinking of Rama. So this is a beautiful commentary by Tilaka, where he talks about Ramayanam. Everything about Ramayanam is beautiful, and in particular, Sundarakandam is even more beautiful. So I wanted to call this out so that while we are reading, I'm sure we'll experience that beauty. And in just 4 lines, that is the beauty of the commentator, that he's brought out the entire beauty using the right padas, right? That is why they are the great composers and commentators. There is another aspect to Sundarakandam where the Panchabhuta Tattva, the 5 elements that we have, the Prithvi, Vayu, Akasham, Agni, and Jalam. So these are also depicted by Hanuman himself. I apologize to non-Tamil speaking or people who cannot read Tamil. I've given the one quote from Kamba Ramayanam by Kambar, where he describes how Hanuman actually is the symbol of the 5 elements. So he says, I've given the transliteration in English. Hopefully you'll be able to follow that. So, Anjile ondru petran, Anjile ondrai tavi, Anjile ondru ஆறு ஆக or ஆறாக, ஆரியர்க்காக ஏகி, அஞ்சிலே ஒன்று பெற்ற அணங்கை கண்டு அயலார் ஊரில், அஞ்சிலே ஒன்றை வைத்தான் அவன் எம்மை அழித்து காப்பான். அஞ்சிலே ஒன்று பெற்றான். So we all know Hanuman is Vayuputra. He was born to parents Anjana Devi and Kesari with the blessing of Lord Shiva and Vayu. So he's called Vayuputra. So there comes wind. Anjile ondrai tavi. He crossed over the ocean to convey the message from Rama to Sita. He crossed the sea. So Anjile ondrai tavi. He moved or crossed over water, the second element. Anjile ondru ஆறு ஆக ஆரியர்க்காக ஏகி. And how did he cross? He did not go through water. He crossed over through sky. So there comes the element of ether, sky. And whom did he go meet there? He met Sita Devi, who's considered Mother Earth, right? She was found from Bhumi. So, Anjile ondru petra anangai kandu. So, he met Sita, who was found from under the earth. So, Anangai kandu, the lady there, from Bhuma Devi, Ayalar Uril, in a foreign land, to show your prowess in your land. What fun in that. Hanuman said, I will show my skill in the enemy's land, in a foreign land. Ayalar Uril, Anjile ondrai vaithan. So before he left Lanka, he wanted to leave a mark and he wanted to show Ravana, I am just a messenger. See what I can do to you. So imagine if Rama came here, how would you even face him? So Anjile ondrai vaithan, he set fire. Avan emmai alittu kaapaan. So he will always take care and bless us. So there comes the 5 elements where Hanuman is the depiction of the 5 elements, where he was born to wind, he he crossed the ocean, he crossed through the sky, he went and met Sita, who was found from under the earth, and then he set fire in Lanka. So this part also signifies, most of it signifies Sundarakandam too. And poet Kamban has beautifully described Hanuman and the Panja Bhuta Tattva very, very, very beautifully through these lines. So if we look at what Hanuman has done, we all talk about, we had such a busy day today. Oh, I'm so exhausted, from the morning, just waking up, doing cooking and getting things done, cleaning the house, going to work, coming back, taking care of family. We have a huge list. But if we look at Hanuman's achievement in just one day and night, all of the Sundarakandam, that's all happened. So he crosses the sea. He takes the blessing of Rama, and he thinks of Rama, and he takes off. He crosses the sea. He arrives at Lanka. It takes about 24 hours for us to move from one country to another, right? Imagine doing all of this in one day. So he crosses over the sea. He arrives at Lanka, and he doesn't know where Mother Sita is. So he pretty much leaves no stone unturned trying to look for Sita Devi, and meets her, conveys the message, gives what Rama told him to give to Sita, gets her blessings, and then had to fight the Rakshasa forces, had to face Ravana in his court, gets humiliated, and yet he is not deterred even a little bit by it. He sets fire to Lanka, he returns to Bharata Desham, and then communicates what Rama has been waiting for. He says, Kandam Sitaye. So all of these happened in just one day and night. So if we look at the vastness of Sundarakandam, there are total of about 68 sargas or chapters, and comprising of 2,885 shlokas. So this is going to be a long journey, but we are in no hurry, right? I think those who have been part of our learning group would know that we are in no hurry, we are in no race to finish anything. We start the journey, we do at our own pace, we internalize what we learn, we get comfortable in chanting, we understand the meaning, we give a meaning to that learning, right? It is not a checklist that we are trying to complete, saying that, hey, you know what, I also learned Sundarakandam and I'm done. No, we want to make sure that the learning has a meaningful impact in our lives. So this is going to be a long journey, and we all have to understand that journey will be long, journey will be challenging, but the journey will be beautiful. As long as we put our sincere devotion to it, sincere efforts to it, it is going to be a beautiful learning. So before we get into the summary of Ramayanam and Sundarakandam and a little bit about Hanuman, just some information about the class itself. So Sarga by Sarga, I will share the PDF in Sanskrit, English, and Tamil. I had shared information about 2 books that are recommended. You can use any book that you want, but just keep in mind there is Partha Beda. So there might be some differences in the Pada Prayogaha, some shlokas which might be additional, some shlokas which might have been deleted in your version. So I'm just sticking to one version and going with it. And if I'm listening to some commentary or reading something where a particular prayoga, a particular important shloka is not there in either of these books, but it's there in most of the chantings, I might end up including it. So my suggestion would be, have a hard copy, either the PDF or the book that has been recommended, and just note down either in a piece of paper, in a sticky note, or on the text itself, whatever Pathabheda is there. And just for consistency sake, stick to the text from our class so that when you chant along. There will be periodic parayana, hopefully, right? So when we all chant together, you're not struggling between words, or you're not missing out on shlokas. Your book doesn't have it. Somebody else is chanting it and you're lost, and suddenly you don't know which shloka number you should be continuing in. So just for consistency's sake, you can note down the corrections even from the PDF. Even though I'm sending the PDF, there might be, while I am coming into the part where I'm teaching a particular set of shlokas, if I have noticed something different, there might be corrections. So we didn't have to do many corrections when we learned Bhagavad Gita or even the other shlokas, but I think Sundarakandam, from what I have been doing the prep work these past few months, there is quite a few Pathabheda. So just mentally be prepared. Let us not panic. Let us not feel like we are left out or something is incorrect, or I don't know what to do kind of thing. So just make sure that you are open to these corrections, and you note down these corrections either in the PDF or the book that you have, just for consistent learning and chanting. That's it. There is no right and wrong here. Now, before we start our class, I do have certain guidelines, and after the guidelines, we will take about 30 seconds for Manasiga Sankalpa for this learning journey. We need all the blessings from all the universes out there for us to start and complete this learning journey. So take a Sankalpa to attend live classes at as much as possible. So I'm also a student, and I have experienced that when I miss a live class, the you kind of get lost at some point. So unless it is a pressing need where you cannot attend live class, let us all try our level best to participate in live sessions. Those are the best. And I think those who have attended live sessions, either shloka learning or Sanskritam learning or any other learning, you will know that Sakshat is best, where we all learn, facing each other in a room in one place, but we are all distributed across different countries, different time zones. But thanks to the technology today, we are all able to learn this as a satsanga. But please do make sincere efforts to attend live classes. Fridays, not available. 4:30 to 6:30, I'm not available. Make it clear to people around you. Make it clear to all the commitments around you as much as possible, so that you feel connected. There is no break in the learning journey, right? If there is class, I will attend the live class. Take a Sankalpa. Be present in the class. Like, I find it difficult myself when I attend classes. I'm always juggling between tasks, switching between tabs, checking messages, taking calls. We all have so many distractions that we can succumb to. Let us be present in the class. Let us make sure that our mind, body is completely dedicated to this learning. If you miss a class, make sure that you catch up with the recording in YouTube prior to the next class. So I have a few people from this group who are extremely inspiring. When they learned Bhagavad Gita, if for some reason they missed a class, they would not come to the next class until they have caught up on the recordings. And they've told me that Sankalpa helped them the most to make sure that they completed Bhagavad Gita learning. I think Raji is one of them. If you're there, Raji, either in Zoom or on YouTube, give a pat on your back. I know other people too who would not miss a class, but if they did, they would catch up and only then attend the next class. So before the next class, they would make sure that they have caught up. And before the next class, ensure that you practice the shlokas that you have learned, so that you feel connected. the moment we don't practice, there is a slight disturbance that we experience, saying that, oh my God, I don't remember the last part, or I don't, we've started a new set of shlokas, but I'm not confident with the previous set. What do I do now? So there's just, it's human nature to experience that disturbance. So let's all make sure that we practice the shlokas from the previous class before we come to the next class. Be regular in practicing and chanting. Each one has a different grasping capability, different Sanskritam proficiency. So those who know Sanskritam, probably you will chant it with ease. Those who have not learned the language, you might have to focus a little bit more to make sure that you pronounce the padas the right way. So you might have to put in a little more hard work than others. So be regular in practicing and chanting. Take a sankalpa that, 15 to 30 minutes a day. Some set, right? Whatever we have learned, I will chant, I will practice 20, I will practice 25, I will practice 50, right? In a quiet room, in your puja room, wherever, or wherever you're comfortable. Ensure that you're able to devote 15 to 30 minutes. Do come forward when I teach for repeating and chanting. So if there are any mistakes, you will be able to correct it in live sessions. Take a sankalpa for us to be physically and mentally healthy. We all need to be in that receiving plane whenever there is a learning that is being undertaken, right? A cluttered mind cannot take any learning. So let our mind be decluttered, at least during this learning period, so that we are able to understand, internalize, experience Sundarakandam as it should be experienced. Our goal is to do the Sampurna Parayanam, all these shlokas, the complete Sundarakanda Parayanam. After learning, Guru will guide us when and where we will be able to do it. But let us all take a sankalpa. Let us all close our eyes. Think of your Kula Devata, your Ishta Devata, Valmiki Maharshihi, Bhagavan Sri Ramaha, and our Hanuman to bless us. A 30-minute Shamita, 30-second Sankalpa period. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. May Guru be with us in every step of this learning. That is my most sincere prayer to Guru. Before we delve into Sundarakandam and Hanuman, a quick walkthrough of Ramayana. A lot of us know the story, but nevertheless, we cannot start the learning without a summary of what happened until then. So we all know the beautiful city of Ayodhya by the Sarayu River, where King Dasharatha was ruling this kingdom. That is the latest Ayodhya picture, and I can't wait to visit the temple. He rules the country and he had 3 wives. Unfortunately, he didn't have any kids, so he does the Putra Kameshti Yagam, and he gets blessed with 4 lovely sons, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. Rama, being the avatara of Mahavishnu himself, is the most favorite of the lot for all the 3 mothers for the entire city of Ayodhya. Then comes the events in Balakandam, where sage Vishwamitra takes Rama and Lakshmana to kill the demons and demonesses who hinder the Yaga Yajna. Rama brings Ahalya back to life. turns the stone into back into life, goes to Mithila, marries Sita in a Swayamvara. He breaks the bow and marries Sita. Then comes back to Ayodhya with Sita, lived happily ever after for many, many years. And Dasharatha, who got older, decides to make Rama the next king. No questions asked. Everybody is super excited and happy. However, there comes the character that is crucial to Ramayana, Manthara, who tells Kaikeyi, who kind of triggers Kaikeyi, saying that now is the time for you to ask for the two boons. And Kaikeyi, even at the time, is not. She was a good woman. She was a good person. But then we all have these trigger points, right? Even when Manthara said, "You will be a slave," she wasn't disturbed by that. But the moment Manthara said, "You know what? Bharata will be a slave to Rama." So, the point of attachment, that subtle point, the point, touchy point. When Manthara touches that, all hell breaks loose. That's when Kaikeyi decides, okay, this is it. I think I have to listen to Manthara and I have to ask for the two boons. She does, and Dasharatha, without any option, tells Rama that he needs to go to Kanakam forest for 14 years. And why 14 years? Because once you're exiled from the kingdom for 14 years, you kind of lose your citizenship. Like those who are in USA would know, to maintain citizenship, you need to show X number of months that you have lived there or something like that, or maybe green card. So you lose your citizenship. So, which is why she asked for 14 years and Bharata to be crowned. While this happened, Bharata is not there in Ayodhya. He is at Kekeyadesham, Kaikeyi's birthplace. And sadly, Rama leaves. When Rama leaves, Lakshmana says, "I will follow you wherever you go." Sita says, "The place where Rama lives is Ayodhya to me." All three of them leave, and they meet Guha, the Nishada Raja, and they live there in the Kananam, in the forest. And then Bharata comes, Dasharatha dies, and then Bharata comes, tries to convince Rama to come back to Ayodhya. The city is without any king, and it is your responsibility to take care of the citizens. So when that happens, Rama says, "Once I've given the word, I've given my word. I am not taking it back." So Bharata says, "I won't leave until you give me some symbol with which I can rule, as if your presence is there in Ayodhya." And he takes Rama's Paduka, goes back, still doesn't get into Ayodhya, goes outside Ayodhya, Nandigramam, where he also leads the life of a hermit with barked clothes and matted hair, and he rules over Ayodhya. Now that Bharata and other people know, Rama decides to moves to Panchavati, and they lead a very beautiful life. The Valmiki has such a beautiful description of life of Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana in Panchavati, where I think there is a swimming contest, and Lakshmana is the referee. I think very, very interesting events in Panchavati. Then comes the encounter with Shurpanaka, sister of Ravana, and who is attracted towards Rama. Rama says, "I'm married, I'm with Sita." And when she approaches Lakshmana, Lakshmana chops off Shurpanaka's nose, and the wounded, insulted Shurpanaka decides to take revenge. So she goes off and tips Ravana off, saying that Sita is the most beautiful lady she's ever met, and Ravana should marry her. So Ravana, with the help of Maricha, comes there to abduct Sita. Maricha turns into golden deer, and Rama goes and chases the deer, kills the deer, but then the magical deer, when it passes away, it screams the name of Lakshmana and Sita. "Hey Lakshmana, hey." Hey Sita. Just give me a second. So he abducts Sita. Jatayu, the bird, tries to save Sita from Ravana, and Jatayu's wings get chopped, but it holds its life so that it can convey the message to Rama. Rama does the Antima Samskaram to Jatayu and then goes in search of Sita, following the route, looks at the jewelry, um, and then meets Shabari by the Pampa lake, accepts the humble fruits offered by her, gives her moksha. So as he moves around, he comes to Kishkinda, the area which was inhabited by Vanaras, ruled by Vali, and Sugriva, who was living away from the kingdom. We all know the story where Sugriva and Vali go in search of a demon, and the cave gets closed. Sugriva thinks that Vali is dead. He closes the mouth of the cave and then comes back, and then fight breaks between Vali and Sugriva, and he gets banished. Sugriva gets banished from the kingdom. So now comes Hanuman there. So Ramayana actually describes conversation between Hanuman and Sugriva, that they saw this lady being abducted, and looks like they're hearing about two young men who are wandering in the forest in search of somebody. While they are conversing, Sugriva Sugriva sees that there are two people approaching the place where he is, and Sugriva is living a life of fear. Whoever approaches, he feels that that person is somebody sent by Bali, and that person is there to kill him. So Hanuman says, you know what, you wait, I will try and find out who those two are, and I will take the appropriate action. So he disguises himself as a Brahmana, and then he goes to Rama. The moment he sees Rama, he becomes the greatest devotee of Rama. Conversation happens between Rama and Hanuman. So the question arises, why Hanuman is there with Sugriva in Kishkinda? What is the connection between the two? Was Hanuman also born in Kishkinda? Is he related to Sugriva? How does he become kind of a protector of Sugriva, right? Hanuman is even more powerful than Sugriva, but he is kind of under Sugriva in that whole army. So then comes the question, who is this Hanuman? Why is he in Kishkinda along with Sugriva there, and why is he under Sugriva? So there comes the story of birth of Hanuman. Like I mentioned earlier, Apsaras called Punchikasthala, who lived in Devaloka. She was in deep love with the wind god, Vayu Bhagavan. They both mutually liked each other, and one day they both were playing with water with each other. It so happened there was a rishi who was doing tapas there, and while they were splashing water, the water falls on the rishi and his penance gets disturbed. So he says, you are an apsaras. You should have the viveka to know that there is a rishi who is doing tapas here, and his penance should not be disturbed. But how are you behaving? You are behaving as though you are a vanara. You are not using your mind. You seem very restless. You are not aware of your surroundings. So you are behaving like a monkey. So may you be born as a monkey woman in your next birth. So he curses Kunchikasthala to be born. So according to his curse, the Apsaras Punchikasthala is born as Anjana Devi. Anjana Devi lives comes into Bhuloka, she lives a life, and there is a point where I think before she descended onto earth, she speaks to Indra, and Indra says, you know what, don't worry, you will give birth to the most powerful bhakta, most powerful son in your life, in the entire universe. So that is going to be your blessing. So she marries Kesari. Kesari in Sanskritam actually means Simha. So a Vanara who is like a lion. So she married Kesari, and they both have a very beautiful life together. So Anjana Devi and Kesari, having lived together for a few years, they want to have a baby, but they don't have a child. So Anjana Devi goes into deep penance. She prays to Lord Shiva, and which is why through Shiva's blessings, she gives birth to Hanuman. Now, which is why Hanuman is also called an Amsham of Rudra. A doting mother she is. She sees that Hanuman or Anjaneya or Sundara at this point is her world. So she's constantly behind the Vanara baby, doting over him and trying to make him the most loved child on earth. The naughty Hanuman, one day while he was being fed, in fact, I think it is said that he was having dadyannam, which is curd rice, and he wanted something to go along with it. And when he looked at sun, it looked like amraphalam. It looked like a mango. Even today, curd rice and mango make a very beautiful combination, right? So when he looked at the mango, he thought, oh, I'm just having bland curd rice. Why don't I have it along with mango, which will make it even more tastier? So he decides to fly towards sun, which shone like, which was shining like a mango, red in color. So as he was flying, Indra sees it, and Devendra thinks that if this little boy does something to sun, then he is going to be insulted. He is the Devendra, right? He is the king of the Devaloka. So all the other in the Devaloka are under him. So if sun gets snatched away, or if sun gets taken away, or maybe by capturing sun, the Sundara or Anjaneya is going to seize his own position, the Indra position, right? So he decides that even though it is just a little boy, little baby, he decides to attack Bala Sundara, Bala Anjaneya with his Vajrayuda. The moment he gets attacked, the little boy falls down and his jaw gets broken. So it kind of gets tilted on one side, and hence the name Hanuman. So when he fell down, the jaw became kind of broken and tilted. So that is when Sundaraha, Anjaneyaha got the name Hanuman. Hanu is the jaw portion of our face. Now, Vayu Bhagavan, having seen this, feels that injustice has been done to his son. Hanuman, we all know, has another name, Vayuputra. So injustice is done to his son, and he decides to take revenge. So he stops blowing. The entire world comes to still, the living beings unable to breathe. So Indra goes and asks for forgiveness from Vayu Bhagavan, and Hanuman is brought back to life, and all the other devas and devatas, they grant different kinds of boons to Hanuman. One boon that we all are aware of is that Brahmastra, which is an astra that cannot be defeated, right? If Brahmastra is basically shot out, there is no counter that can face the astra. But then Brahmadeva says that even Brahmastra will not wound you. Even you cannot be captured or wounded or defeated with the prayoga of Brahmastra. So Hanuman comes back to life. Everything is settled back to normal. He is with Anjana Devi, but then being a little child, he starts misusing the kind of powers. We'll come into that a little later. So everybody has granted different kinds of boons, and Surya Deva is pending. So he says, all this started because of me, because Hanuman wanted to come and grab me. Whatever boon one can give, every boon of those has been already granted. So what do I do? So Anjana Devi says, you know what? You need the right guru in life. You need the right kind of teacher, and Surya Bhagavan, the most learned, can be your guru. So Surya Bhagavan says, okay, I will take Hanuman as my Sishya. But there is a problem. What is the problem? I am not stationary, right? As the earth moves, so sun is actually stationary, but the bhumi or the earth keeps moving. So you cannot be in one place. So you will see me in bits and pieces as though I am moving. How are you going to learn? Anjana Devi says, excellent. I have a very hyperactive Vanara child. The child will move along with you. You don't worry about it. He will learn from you as you move, but make sure that you teach everything to Hanuman. So in fact, Hanuman is called as Nava Vyakarana Pandita. Nava Vyakaranam. Vyakaranam is grammar. All the kinds of grammar that Hanuman indeed has mastered. So he learns from Surya Bhagavan. And after the Pathanam is done, the Pathanam is done, after the teaching and the learning is done, Surya Bhagavan, Hanuman says, you know what? I'm very grateful to you. You have been the best teacher and I enjoyed learning from you. What dakshina can I give you, right? That's when Surya Bhagavan says, you know what? You go be with my son who is in Kishkinda. And who is that son? That son is Sugriva. So Sugriva is the son of Surya Bhagavan. So after the learning is done, Hanuman is directed by Surya Bhagavan to go live and to take care of Sugriva. That is how Hanuman comes to Kishkinda, and he is kind of the person who is taking care of, the caretaker or the protector of Sugriva. So he takes the blessings and he goes to Kishkinda. So now back to Ramayana, the conversation is happening between Sugriva and Hanuman. And Hanuman says, please don't worry, let me go find out who those two are. And he goes and talks to Rama. He immediately takes to Rama, right? The moment he sees Rama, he says, my life from now on is dedicated to him. I am his greatest bhakta. So they come back. He brings Rama and Lakshmana to Sugriva, tells all the details to Sugriva. Sugriva says his side of story. And then there is a pact that happens between Sugriva and Rama in the presence of Lakshmana, Hanuman, and the other Vanaras, that, they will be friends and they will help each other. So there is a Agni, in front of Agni, there is a oath that gets, pratigna that gets taken. So as Rama promises Sugriva that he will kill Vali, the yuddham between Vali and Sugriva happens. The first day doesn't work out so well. Rama is not able to distinguish between the two. The next day, there is a garland that is worn around Sugriva and Vali Vadham happens. So after Vali Vadham, Sugriva becomes the king there and he rules over the kingdom for many, many years. But he does not keep up his promise. His promise was he will help Rama find Sita. How much ever Hanuman tries to tell Sugriva that we need to do what we had promised, Sugriva is not paying attention. And then one day Lakshmana comes and gives a piece of his mind to Sugriva. We kept our promise. What about you helping us finding Sita? And fearing Lakshmana's wrath, there is a wake-up call that happens to Sugriva. and he decides to get his entire Vanara army in search of Sita. So they all decide to go and look for Sita. Initially, the directions are decided. Angada decides to help out. Hanuman decides to help out. Each Vanara army splits into different direction. And then before they take off, Rama gives his Anguliyakam, his ring, to Hanuman, saying that when you meet Sita, she might be in doubt as to who you are, whether you are a person who is known to Rama. Are you the true messenger? So at that time, you show this ring and give this to Sita, she would believe you. And there are a couple of other things also that he conveys. Hanuman takes the blessing of Rama and leaves in search of Sita. So they encounter Sampati, the brother of Jatayu, and the bird confirms to them that Sita was indeed abducted by Ravana, and Sita is held captive in Lanka, and inside Lanka she seems to be at a place which looks like it's surrounded by trees through the Dirgha Drishti, right? Sampati says. Now the Vanaras are ready. They all know that Sita Devi is there in Lanka, but you know what? Bharatadesham and Lanka is separated by Samudram, water. What do? You have to cross the ocean in order to reach Lanka. We didn't have transport system in those days. So the Vanara chief keeps asking each of the Vanaras, how much can you jump? What is the distance you think you can cover? So each one of them keeps saying that, you know what, I can go 10 yojanas, I can go 20, I can go 30, I can go 50. I think Angada says I can go 100, but I won't have the energy to come back. So as this happens, Hanuman is sitting there. So he's not even volunteering. Now, Hanuman, having gotten all these boons, he should have been the first one to say, you know what, I have all these boons that I have had as blessing while I was a child. So I should be able to do this easily. It is a piece of cake for me. But he's just sitting there quiet. And why is that? After the boy Hanuman got the boons from different gods and devatas, he kind of misused it when rishis were doing their penance and their yaga yajna. So he got cursed that these boons, his strength, is something that will vanish from his mind, from his memory. And somebody needs to remind that somebody would be Jambavan, the bear. So Jambavan, the bear which is there, is reminding Hanuman about Hanuman's birth, all the naughtiness that he did, the incident with sun god as the Amraphalam, mango, how he got hit, how he got his name, how Vayu Bhagavan got angry, and everybody else had to surrender and apologize, and in turn they all blessed Hanuman with various boons. So at that point, Hanuman realizes that, oh, is that so? Looks like I have the strength, I have the power to indeed achieve and make myself useful to Lord Rama. That is my only goal in life. I didn't know about any of this, but now that I know, I am not going to waste even a second. So he decides that he will go across the ocean. He will find Mother Sita and he will convey the message back to Rama. Rama Kainkaryam was only the goal that Hanuman had in his mind. He just had to be reminded by Jambavan that this was the purpose of his life, and he comes back into his senses, where he decides that I will go for it. And then comes the beginning of Sundarakandam. So he takes off, and from the moment he actually takes off, while he is just ready in the taking off mode, is the beginning of Sundarakandam. So before we chant, there are a few sets of shlokas that we will be doing as dhyana shloka. I think we have about maybe 5 or 6, I don't remember. So we did similar kind of dhyana shloka for Sankshepa Ramayanam as well. We also have the dhyana shloka for Bhagavad Gita that we did. So similarly, every class before we start, we will do the dhyana shloka, and then we will learn the new set of shlokas along with the meaning. We will do the dhyana shlokas today, and then we will end the class. Next class will be the first sarga. We will start with 20 shlokas. I want to see how the time works out. If 20 is too much, I will reduce it. If 20 seems like, we can comfortably push it to 25 a class, I will push it to 25. So just allow me to experiment for a couple of classes to see how many shlokas we can fit in one class. Because of the volume or the number of shlokas, the more we do, but meaningfully, right? We should not rush. I should be able to clarify pronunciation. I should be able to cover at least high level meaning of each of the shlokas and one particular pada that is important in that shloka. These are the sankalpa that I have taken. So without rushing, without feeling, hasty, how much ever we are able to do, after like 2-3 classes, I think we will settle in the number of shlokas. There are certain portions which are a little more detailed, which require a little more focus. Maybe those weeks, those classes, the number of shlokas might be lesser. So we have to see how it goes. So unlike Bhagavad Gita, where did we do 10 per class? I don't remember, sorry. 10 per class, I think we did, with meaning, right? So unlike Bhagavad Gita, I think we might have to experiment a little bit and take it as we go. If I find certain classes, we can squeeze in more, because many shlokas have like similar kind of meaning. Like for example, there comes a set of shlokas where each Vanara says, I can jump 10, I can jump 20, I can jump 30. So all that we can skip very easily. Certain things, when Hanuman is actually looking for Sita, he is very upset and he wants to give up, and what does he do? Those are very critical lessons that we need to remember in life, because we encounter such situations very often in life. So during those moments, I think we'll focus a little more. So the number of shlokas in any class might not be fixed. So just work with me through that. That is my humble request. Okay. Soumya, are you there? Can you raise your hand? Are you in Zoom, Soumya Chandrasekharan? Okay, looks like she is not there. Shanti ji? Shanti Ramachandran? Can you unmute? Okay, going to the next person. I think I just want, because we are starting, somebody whom I know knows. Vasanti ji or Usha ji, are you there?
Yes, Ji, I'm here.
Namaste.
Hello. Namaste, Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. Okay, before we started the class, I want to thank Soumya Chandrasekharan, who did the Palagai Kolam for Hanuman, and she did the Nevedyam before we started the class. So thank you, Soumya, for doing that. Every week, we will have somebody who will do. In general, we know that wherever Sundarakanda Parayanam is done, Ramayana Parayanam is done, Hanuman comes there and sits and listens. So usually it is customary to do a kolam on a palagai and offer Nevedyam to Hanuman, and Soumya did that today. So thank you, Soumya, for doing that. I also want to thank a bunch of people who have helped me put the slides together. Jyotsna, who has helped out with the Sarga content. Other folks who have helped me put the content together, and Niketana, who is in grade 9, who has helped me with the audio. Soumya, who's helped me with the audio verifications, slide verification. I apologize if I've missed any names. There is a whole crew working with us in the background to make this happen. So thank you for that as well. Ushaji, I will start with the Dhyana Shloka. You can
Okay, ji.
Shuklam Paradharam Vishnum
Shuklambaradharam Vishnum
Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam
Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam
Prasannavadanam Dhyayet
Prasannavadanam Dhyayet
Sarva Vighnopashantaye
Sarva Vighnopashantaye
Shuklam Paradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam
Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam
Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye.
Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye
Ramaya Ramabhadraya
Ramaya Ramabhadraya
Ramachandraya Vedhase
Ramachandraya Vedhase
Raghunathaya Nathaya
Raghunathaya Nathaya
Sitaya Pataye Namaha
Sitaya Pataye Namaha
Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase
Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedhase
Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha.
Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha.
Very good. Buddhirbalam Yashodhairyam
Buddhirbalam Yashodhairyam
Nirbhayatvam Arogata
Nirbhayatvam Arogata
Ajadyam Vakpatutvam Cha
Ajadyam Vakpatutvam Cha
Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet.
Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet.
Very good. Buddhirbalam Yashodhairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogata
Buddhirbalam Yashodhairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogata
Ajadyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet.
Ajadyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumat Smaranat Bhavet.
Very good. Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam
Yatra Yatra Raghunatha Kirtanam
Tatra Tatra Kritamastakанjalim
तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिम्
बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनम्
बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनम्
मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्
मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्
यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनम् तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिम्
यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनम् तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिम्
बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनम् मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्
बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनम् मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम्
वेरी गुड कूजन्तं राम रामेति
कूजन्तं राम रामेति
मधुरं मधुराक्षरम्
मधुरं मधुराक्षरम्
आरुह्य कविताशाखाम्
आरुह्य कविताशाखाम्
शाखाम् महाप्राणः
आरुह्य कविताशाखाम्
वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्
वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्
कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम्
कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम्
आरुह्य कविताशाखाम् वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्
आरुह्य कविताशाखाम् वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्
Can you just read the shlokas, Ushaji?
शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये.
Little slower, Ushaji.
Okay. रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः. बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्. यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिम् बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनम् मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखा वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्.
Very good. Just stay on for a second, Dr. Usha. Just stay there. So I just want to show the notation, and then you can tell which are the aksharas that have Mahaprana. Just give me 1 second while I explain this to newcomers. So those who know Sanskritam, you will know what is Alpa Pranaha and Mahapranaha and Visargaha. So Alpa Pranaha are aksharas that have less stress. So ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. So that ka and ga, that which you don't stress that much, are called as Alpa Prana Aksharani. Kha, gha, like kagha or ghantaha. So that would be Mahapranaha. So here, dharam, bhujam, dhyayet, bhignopa. So these aksharas are Mahaprana aksharas. Now, those who know Sanskritam, if you have learnt you will be able to pronounce it the right way. Now, if you are not looking at the Sanskritam text, if you are looking at the English or the Tamil version, the aksharas that require Mahapranaha will have a H there. For example, Shuklam, Bara, Dharam. You can see DH there. Chatur, Bhujam, BH there. So anytime you see H, you will have to stress it because it becomes a Mahaprana aksharam there. If you are looking at the Tamil notation, then any even number, if there is no number at all, then it is number 1. Then comes 2, 3, 4. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 numbers that you can encounter in Tamil version. In Tamil, we have only Kanga, Chana, Turna. You don't have Kaka, Gaganga. But when we pronounce, we know it is Tannir and Dagam. We know, we don't say Dannir, right? Automatically, we say Tannir and Dagam. That comes with practice. But when we are pronouncing a pada, a shloka in Sanskritam, when you don't pronounce it the right way, the meaning sometimes completely changes. So you have to make, like, for example, bhuta and bhuda, they have completely different meaning. So when you chant saying bhuta and you say bhuda, the meaning is very different. So you have to make sure that you are using the right connotation, right number, right stress when the pada is being pronounced, when the shloka is being pronounced. So looking at the Tamil version, if it is 4, even number 2 or 4, then it is Mahapranaha. You have to stress. So Chatur, you have Pu there, but number 4. So it becomes Bhu. Chatur Bhujam. If you want to make that effort, now you have come to the Sundarakandam class where you are committed to learning about 3000 shlokas, 2885 shlokas. My recommendation would be either from our channel or any other Sanskritam channel where they teach this pronunciation. If you go to our channel, in that channel, you will see Pravesha batch 2, the first few classes, I think 5 classes. Each class is about 1.5 hours. If you just listen to that class, you will know the basic Sanskrita aksharams and the pronunciation. So when you are ready to devote time for 2885 shlokas, it will probably be 2 or 3 years by the time we finish our learning. My recommendation would be, my humble suggestion request would be, please devote those 6 hours to learn the pronunciation the right way. Initially, you might find it difficult. In fact, Dr. Usha here will be able to vouch for it. How she started by looking at the English Sanskritam texts. She just did one level in Sanskritam, learned the pronunciation. I think now she can't go back to any other language. She can read by only looking at Sanskritam.
கண்டிப்பா கண்டிப்பா அது அப்படியே பழக பழக நன்னா வந்துடுறது.
Correct. So you have to make sure that you put in that effort just a little bit. Initially, maybe commit yourself to maybe 1 month or 2 months to learn the pronunciation. Just the first few videos. It doesn't have to be from our channel. Anywhere where you know they teach Sanskritam the right way. If you just listen to basic aksharas and basic pronunciation, it will help you in a huge way. For the amount of commitment and effort that every member here is putting in, my humble suggestion request will be, please devote this small time to learn the pronunciation. It will help you and it will take you a long way, not just in Sundarakandam, in chanting and pronouncing other shlokas also. So make sure that you know the notation. Now, I have one disclaimer here where I am focusing fully on the Sanskritam text. We are trying to transliterate it into English and Tamil to the maximum extent possible, making sure that it is in sync. But there might be places where the pada might be different in Tamil and English. So if you see that either in the PDF that I send or the text which is displayed here, just make the correction yourself. Unfortunately, there is no manpower to do the correct transliteration for 3000 shlokas, and I want to invest more time in teaching, learning, and and internalizing, understanding, enjoying Sundarakandam than focusing on the text. So I'm going to make a humble effort. There are few people who will be helping to make sure that the slides are displayed the right way in English and Tamil. The Sanskritam part will be okay because I'm going with the Sanskritam text. That should be okay. But if you see any discrepancies in the English and the Tamil part, just please make sure that you note down the corrections. I think going back and correcting either here or somewhere else is a huge task. We were able to do that for Bhagavad Gita, for Sankshepa Ramayanam, because only 100 shlokas. So even if I had 100 corrections, it's okay. But this will be a huge task to undertake, which will be possible only if we have a dedicated team doing this. Now, we all have other work that we do, other roles, other karyam, other commitments. So we don't have a group dedicated just for this, right? So expecting that the text will have no errors, everything will be perfect and it needs to be fixed, I think is stretching it a little too far. So I am stating a disclaimer here that while the Sanskritam text will be okay, the Tamil and the English, if you find any discrepancy, just make the correction yourself. It will not be possible for me to go correct all the PDFs and all the texts and make sure that it is up to date. So let each of us devote the time to make the self-correction. If you see anything in the Sanskritam text, please raise it up with me. You can either email me, learnshlokasonline@gmail.com, or those who are in the Sundarakandam WhatsApp group, you should be able to see my number. You can WhatsApp message me. I generally don't pick calls from unknown numbers. So you can message me and I will make the required corrections. So that is my request and a disclaimer that it is given the vastness of content. At this point, I'm unable to commit to make sure that all the texts are perfect in. We will put in the effort, but you might find one or two mistakes here and there. So just make self effort to note down the corrections or note down any typos in Tamil and English. So Usha ji, can you call out the Mahapranaha?
ஓகே ஜி. முதல்ல இந்த தியானம்னு சொல்றதே வந்து தியா வந்து
I think there are a lot of non-Tamil speaking people. Let's stick to English.
Okay. So the topic of the slide, just correct dhyanam. So it is, so that is underlined. Then Baradharam, Shuklam Baradharam, adu and the Dhara is Mahapranaha. Chaturbhujam is Bhu, is Mahapranaha. Then Dhyayet in the second line is Mahapranaha. Gnobha, adum Igha, and the Kha is also a Mahapranaha.
Very good. So Dha, Bha, Dha and Ignopa. These four are Mahapranaha. There is no Visarga pronunciation in this.
Then the second one, Bhadraya, Ramaya, Rama Bhadraya, and Bha, Vedhase. In the first line, last word, Vedhase, Dha, then Gu, then Tha, Raghunatha, another Natha, that's so Mahapranaha. Then Pitayah Pataye, F, the pronunciation will change to Visarga, because of the Visarga and the P following it, it will change to Sitayah Pataye Namaha.
Pataye Namaha. Sitayah Pataye Namaha. Very good. So Bhadraya, Vedhase, Raghu, Nathaya, Nathaya. So these are the Mahapranaha. And Sitayah Pataye Namaha.
Then Buddhir, Di, Dha, that is a Mahapranaha. Dhairyam is a Mahapranaha. Bhayatvam is a Mahapranaha. Then second line, the last word, Bhave, that is a Mahaprana.
Uttama. So Buddhir Balam, Dhairyam, Nirbhayatvam, Ajadyam. There is no Mahapranaha here. You might see a Pathabeda here. Some text actually state the pada as Ajadyam. We are going with Ajadyam. Vak Patutvam. Sometimes we say Padutvam. It is not Padutvam, Patutvam. And then bhavet. There is no visargaha in this.
Then yatra yatra raghu gha mahapranaha. Natha kirtanam tha is the mahapranaha. Then there is no other mahapranaha in the first, second line also. I don't see any.
Only the Ishya, Bhashpavari.
Bhashpavari Paripurna Lochanam Marutim Namata Rakshasam.
The na difference also. Paripurna. This na, you roll your tongue. In Tamil, this is the Munushuri na. Lochanam. This is the Rendushuri na. Not Lochanam. Lochanam. So watch out for this difference where na and na, where you roll. Raghunatha Bhashpavari. And there is no visargaha here also. And stick to the hrasvaha and dirgaha. Bhashpavari paripurna. No, it is Bhashpavari.
Maruti.
Vari. So that is another thing that we need to look out for, especially end of the sentence when we have ti or e. We tend to say it as ti, e.
Yeah,
So
Marutim, there is no
Marutim.
Marutim.
Marutim namata. No, Marutim namata Rakshasantakam. So these are some subtle things that we have to watch out for so that we learn the shloka the right way and we pronounce it the right way. Something that we all need to keep in mind. Not just any learning, right kind of learning is very important. So let us focus on that. We will end the class today. Next class, we will do the Dhyana Shloka one more time, and then we will do the first set of shlokas. While we do the meaning for the first set of shlokas, I will give the high-level meaning for the Dhyana Shlokas also. I just wanted to start the class with Dhyana Shloka today, and we are almost time here. Thank you so much, Oshaji, for repeating. Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. Ram Ram.
Okay. If there are any questions, you can type it in chat, either in Zoom or in YouTube. Just to recall, the classes are once a week via Zoom. Zoom has a restriction of 100 members. The first 100 can join here. The rest can join in and listen to live class via YouTube. So the email address, if you have any question or want to reach out, it is learnshlokasonline@gmail.com. learnshlokasonline@gmail.com. Typically, after the streaming starts in the class, I will share the link in our Telegram and WhatsApp groups. But you can just go to the channel, subscribe or whatever, so that you get notified. So there is no delay between me starting and me posting in the groups. If you're not able to get in through Zoom but you want to join right away, I think you can subscribe. I think when you subscribe, the live notification would come, I think. So you can go to the channel. So the PDF I will send next week. The PDF will be for the entire chapter, entire sarga. Like I mentioned, there might be Pathabeda while I am teaching from the PDF. The PDF was created some time back. I have not made corrections. Stick to the content that is displayed in the PDF here and make corrections accordingly. The channel, you can just search up Vanishri Raghupati, Banisri Ragupati. That is the name in YouTube. So if you search for the name, I think the channel would appear. I'm very, very thankful to Guru for bringing us all together. in the satsangam, and I'm looking forward to a beautiful, enjoyable, peaceful learning journey where all of us, just cherish the moment we are here for these couple of hours, learning and practicing chanting, and then Sampurna Parayanam, sometime in the future. The classes are on Fridays. I will try my level best not to cancel a class. Of course, if there are some health constraints, or if I have some commitment for kids that I cannot avoid, where they have an event or something, I have to be there, my priority will be that. So I will try my level best to not cancel classes, but if there is a cancellation, I will post in the group saying that we don't have classes. So either in the WhatsApp group or in Telegram channel, you would receive notification. Otherwise, we do have class every week, 4:30 to 6:30. It might go over depending on how deep the meaning is that particular class. I think the shloka learning part is very easy. It's the meaning that we usually delve when we, try to understand a little more. Okay. Thank you all for joining. Please do take a Sankalpa to ensure that you participate in live sessions. Sankalpa for practicing, Sankalpa for chanting, Sankalpa for understanding the meaning. Hold on to Hanuman and Guru for so that they are holding us, with their hand and walking with us while we embark into this learning journey. Dhanyavadaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Dhanyavadaha. Ram Ram Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Hanuman. Thank you all for joining.